अरे
हरी
अरे
बोल दंडवत प्रणाम महाराज सॉरी सॉरी
ओम अज्ञानतिग्रान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामह्यं ददाति सुखदान्तिकम् आददानस्वनन्दन्तरितं याचे पुनः पुनः श्रीमद्रूपपदाम्बोजभूलिस्यां जन्मजन्मनि। So we are discussing today. First of all, offer my millions of blessings to Lotus feet of Smriti Guru Pad Padma Dila Prabhupada Guru Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Dandi Swami Shri Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj Ji Nam Nishta Santa Shri Aniruddha Prabhu Ji and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas are gathered here to accept my humble blessings. So we are discussing Madhurya kadambini. Anyone remembers what page we are in? I think it is page number 62, I think, if I am not wrong. Anyway, I'll start from page number 62. 4D, giving in charity, executing vows and so forth. For the sake of Bhagwan results in attaining Prema Bhakti. So here Srila Vishwanath Thakur is telling that if someone gives charity, and executes vows and so forth for the sake of Bhagwan, it should be done for Bhagwan. That results in attaining Prema Bhakti. So it's very nice here explanation is given that actually is telling that केचित् दानं विष्णु वैष्णव संप्रदानकम व्रतानि एकादशी आदीनि तपस्तत् प्राप्ति हेतु को भोगादि त्याग इति साधन भक्ति अंगानि एवाहु तत् साध्यत्वे भक्ते भक्त्या संजातया भक्त्या is in bold letters you can see भक्त्या संजातया भक्त्या इति त्वात् निर्हेतुकत्वं च न एव सिद्धम इति सर्वम सज्ञानसम. So alternatively, so see this is the verse. So you can see here that alternatively, some explain dana to mean charity aimed at service to Lord Vishnu. So dana should be meant to service to Lord Vishnu. The charity should be for the service of Lord Vishnu and Vaishnavas. So such charity is very beneficial. Means we should give charity, but for the service of Vishnu and Vaishnavas. Otherwise, that charity actually of not much value. Srila Gurudev was telling that he was speaking about Ganga Sagar Mela. Ganga Sagar, where the Ganga river meets the ocean. Srila Gurudev said that don't give charity here and don't accept charity here. Because the people who are giving charity, they are having fruitive desires in their heart. And if you accept their charity, you will be entangled. And if you give them charity also, you will be entangled. So here, charity should be given for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu and for the service of Vaishnavas. Vrata to mean vows such as Ekadashi. I was listening to Gurudev's lecture and in learn lecture he was telling, try to do Nirjal Ekadashi. He told, try to do Nirjal Ekadashi. When I hear these words of Gurudev, hair stands on the end because especially in Tirupati like weather, very hot season, to do Nirjal Ekadashi is like you need a really strong person to do that. Nirjal Ekadashi in Tirupati weather. It's so hot here. You can avoid Anukalpa but not water. It will be too difficult. Understand? Because it's so hot here. But anyways, as much as possible we should try to do as strict as we can. So, brother to mean vows such as Ekadashi. We have to do Ekadashi. With Nirjal you can do or at least taking water or sometimes even some potatoes and groundnuts. That is also fine. But you must do Ekadashi. Don't take grains and beans on Ekadashi. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. Now, there was actually a confusion about Ekadashi, whether it should be done tomorrow or day after tomorrow, 12th or 13th. But it is very clear that we have to do it tomorrow because there are two types of calendars, almanacs. One is the Drik Panchang. Drik Panchang is like based on modern science, and Surya Siddhanta is ancient science. Drik Siddhanta and Surya Siddhanta. As per Surya Siddhanta, Ekadashi is tomorrow. Yeah. So, right, 9:140 in India, Ekadashi has begun. So it is way before the sunrise or even Arunodaya. Even before Brahma Murti it is beginning. So tomorrow is, we must do Ekadashi. But day after tomorrow, the Paran is like 8:35 to 9:35, something like this in India. Anyways, so when we do Ekadashi, actually it gives bhakti to us. Tapasya to mean the renunciation of sense gratification with the intention of obtaining Bhagwan. Like for example, they are doing tapasya. Everyone is doing tapasya, no doubt about it. Muslims also doing tapasya. They are doing Ramzan, Roza. In Roza, all day they don't eat. Night time they eat something. Understand? So they are trying to please their Allah by doing Roza. Some austerity. Every religion has some austerities. But you see that our religion, major austerity is Ekadashi, and Ram Navami is also little austerity because we don't take grains on that day. Narsingh Chaturdashi will be coming. And so we should do some austerity for satisfaction of the Lord. So they are the limbs of sadhan bhakti. So it has been explained that the goal of all these limbs of bhakti is bhakti. See, this is important, that bhakti is the goal of bhakti. So these limbs we follow just to get bhakti. Bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya. Prema bhakti is produced by sadhan bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.31. So very, very important verse. Here Srila Gurudev is telling us that bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya. Bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya. So here, this aphorism which establishes the causeless nature of bhakti perfectly reconciles all the statements of scriptures. So bhakti begets bhakti. Like begets like. So sadhan bhakti begets prema bhakti. Understand? So our sadhan should be very strong. Like Gurudev was telling about Lord Brahma, that how many billions and billions of years he did austerities so that he can get the mercy of Radharani. Then Lord Shiva, to get entry into Ras Leela, also did austerity. Lakshmi is still doing austerity in Belvan, Shrivan, so that she can get entrance into Ras Leela. How much great austerity Drona and Dhara did to have darshan of Krishna as a child. So, Bhuktah tapakim acharan yadamushya rupam lavanya saram asamordam ananya siddham drugbi pibante anusavabhya durapam ekant dhamasya sriyeshwaras. Even Madhura Ramanis were telling that what austerities gopis have done, that relishing Krishna's beauty, enjoying Krishna's beauty. Nayam Shriyo Anga Nitanta Rate Prasada Swaryoshitam Nalida Gandha Rucham Kutonya Raso Savyasya Bhuja Danda Gruhita Kanta Labhva Shisham Yodagat Bhajavandavina. Just reading one lecture Srila Gurudev gave in Paderborn, Germany, and there Uddhav is glorifying the gopis. Nayam Shriyanga Natantarata Prasada. Even Lakshmi cannot get the mercy like Krishna. Mercy of Krishna like gopis got. Krishna placed his hands on their shoulders and danced with them. Krishna's fragrant hands decorated their shoulders, their necks. Krishna catching their necks. Krishna danced in Ras Leela with them. As if Krishna was telling that I may faint due to love, please make sure that I don't fall down. Krishna was placing his beautiful arms on their shoulders. So what austerities these gopis may have done. But actually, gopis are Nitya Siddha Parikar of Krishna. Understand? So Gurudev was telling that among all the Brajavasis, most exalted are the gopis. Among all the gopis, their love of the mother and Yashoda and Krishna, Mother Yashoda and other motherly gopis is great. But even higher than the gopi of higher than the love of Yashoda and those motherly gopis is the love of young gopis. And among the young gopis, Srila Gurudev was telling that the love of Ashtasakis is superior. Lalita, Vishaka, Tanu, and among the Ashtasakis, Gurudev was telling the love of Lalita Vishaka is superior. And even superior than the love of Lalita Vishaka is the love of these two gopis, Chandravali and Radharani. And among them, even more than Chandravali, is the love of Radharani. Understand? So, what great level of bhakti they have. Understand? So, we are trying to get the particle of foot dust of Radharani. So, we have to really do serious austerity. Here, Gurudev is encouraging us. So, Piyusha Varshini Vritti, shower of nectar. Piyush means nectar. Again, certain individuals have interpreted dana, charity, vrata, vows, tapasya, austerities, homa, oblations of ghee into fire, and other components of this verse as limbs of Shuddha. In Srila Vishwanath Thakur's Saradadarshini commentary on this Bhagavatam verse, he writes, Tatra Danam Vishnu Vaishnava Sampradanakam. Here, dana refers to giving charity to Vishnu and Vaishnavas for the purpose of serving them. So basically, Vaishnavas should be served. Like Vaishnavas, we give them dhotis, female Vaishnavas, we give them saris, foodstuffs like this. I remember that Ekadashi day, so many devotees used to come to me with fruit, this, that, like this. So they are trying to serve. So seeing some sannyasi, they have some natural inclination to serve. Understand? And so many devotees used to give some charity to Gurudev also, as per their economic ability for building temples, printing his books, also renovation of the lost places in Braja, pastime places. All these things Gurudev used to give charity to Gurudev. And it is certainly admirable that how they helped Gurudev and they got eternal merit by that. Understand? Because Gurudev used every single penny they donated to him in service of Radha Krishna. So, here, giving charity to Vaishnavas, very, very important. Because Vaishnavas will use it for service of Vishnu. Understand? And we can give charity for the temple of Lord Vishnu. Here Vishnu means Krishna. So, actually one question was asked recently to Gurudev. Oh Gurudev, that when we die, what we should remember? What should be our remembrance? Bhajanath Prabhu was asking this question. Shall we remember you or shall we remember Krishna? Then Gurudev told that at the time of death, you should not remember Guru but remember Krishna, he said. Then they said, why? Why? But we should remember Guru. Guru is more merciful than Krishna. Then Gurudev gave a very nice reply. He said, don't think that when you remember Krishna, not just Krishna alone. He said, don't remember Krishna alone, but remember Radharani and Gopis also with Krishna. And he said, Guru is in Radha Krishna. He is in the heart of Radha Krishna. So Gurudev is not separate from Krishna. Within Krishna, the whole world is there. All the pure devotees, Gurudev, everyone is in Krishna. So he said, remember Radha Krishna at the time of death. That was his instruction. So we should try to give charity to Vishnu and the Vaishnavas for their satisfaction, for the purpose of serving them. Vrata refers to Vaishnava vows like observing Ekadashi. Now, Ekadashi is actually the most important festival, even more than Ram Navami and other festivals. Ekadashi is like Mother of Madhava Titi Bhakti Janani Jatane Palanate. Not enough can be said about the glories of Ekadashi. The meaning of tapasya is renunciation of enjoyment for the sake of Sri Krishna's pleasure. So there are so many types of enjoyments are there. Like Gurudev was giving an example to the lecture that he was speaking at Jagannath Puri, Purushottam Gaudiya Math, I think in year 2001. Uh, I never got a fortune of attending Gurudev's parikrama in Jagannath Puri because I think Purushottam Mas never came when Gurudev. Somehow or other, I was never there with Gurudev in Jagannath Puri. I saw Gurudev in Navadvip in Vrindavan, but not in Jagannath Puri. I don't remember. But anyways, Gurudev was telling that betel nut. He was talking about betel nuts. In India, people eat betel nut. They call it pan, tambul. So Gurudev told that Vaishnavas should not eat tambul. Hmm. But they can offer it to Radha Krishna. It is not forbidden to offer to Radha Krishna this pan, betel nut. But you cannot eat because it is sense enjoyment. Understand? So Krishnartha Akhila Bhogatyag. This is one limb of devotional service. That is also um, mentioned in the 64 limbs of devotional service in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu. So, tapasya here means renunciation of enjoyment for the sake of Sri Krishna's pleasure. Here, actually, sometimes tapasya is very important. I remember recently, Bhakti Gyan Bharti Maharaj ji was talking about Bhakti Hriday Ban Maharaj. When Bhakti Hriday Ban Maharaj had to go to England to preach on behalf of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada told him that, you should wear the shoes. Bhakti Gyan Bharti. And Bhakti Hriday Ban Maharaj was not in the habit of wearing shoes. But Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, no, because you're going to preach in the Western countries, you must wear shoes. So he told our Kunja Bihari Prabhuji, means Srila Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, please bring shoes for this Nandasuda Brahmachari, Bhakti Hriday Ban Maharaj. And he purchased shoes and he wore the shoes and he came to Prabhupada. They were very expensive shoes. And he wore those shoes and came. I think 250 rupees that time it would cost. And Prabhupada was very happy. He said, you have even renounced the renunciation for the service of Guru. So, but generally speaking, we should be frugal and we should be, like Gurudev was telling that Raghunath Das Goswami, Bhugarva Goswami, Raghunath Goswami. Today's lecture, Gurudev was talking about these Goswamis, Bhugarva Goswami and Raghunath Goswami. Now, who are the, you may note that the first Goswamis who came to Braj are actually Bhugarva Goswami and Raghunath Goswami. But who's their guru? Then Gurudev told that their guru is Sri Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit. And Gadadhar Pandit once went to see a great devotee of Krishna. That devotee's name was Puntrik Vidyanidhi. So, when Gadadhar Pandit saw that actually Puntrik Vidyanidhi was very opulent, he was chewing pan. Vaishnava should not be chewing pan. But he was eating tambul, pan. So Gurudev was telling that he was, this Puntrik Vidyanidhi was not a great Vaishnava. He was Maha Bhagavad, Gurudev was telling. He was not a great Vaishnava, but he was a Maha Bhagavad. Means, Maha Bhagavad is that personality who is worshipped even by the great Vaishnavas. So although he was eating pan, understand? Because in Krishna Lila, he is Vrishabhanu Maharaj. He was a Maha Bhagavad. So Gadadhar Pandit thought, what type of Vaishnava is this? So then, Gadadhar Pandit, he felt he is not having any inspiration to chant the mantra, Guru mantra, which he had received from his Guru. So he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why I am not feeling any inspiration to chant my Gayatri mantras, my Gopal mantra and all, Diksha mantra. Then he said that Mahaprabhu told him that you may have committed as an offense to a Vaishnava. As a result of an offense to that Vaishnava, you are not getting any spurti or inspiration to chant this mantra, your Gayatri mantras, Diksha mantras. Then he said, what I should do? What should I do? He said, you should give me mantra again, he told Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, no, no, no. If you want mantra, you have to go and ask forgiveness from the same Vaishnava you offended. Because Gadadhar Pandit first saw that this Puttrik Vidyan is a very materialistic person, wearing silk clothes and eating pan and all. So he's not at all interested in bhakti, he's a first class self gratifier. But then Mukunda, in Gaur Arati we sing this Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Ghosha Adigaya. So this Mukunda, this great personality, great singer, he began to sing a verse shloka from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. How the gopis are describing the beauty of Shri Krishna. Barha Pidam Natavara Karanayo Karanikaram Vipradvasa Kanakapisham Vajayandim Chamala Tandran Veno Radara Sudaya Purayan Gopa Vrindayir Vrindaranyam Sapadarvanam Pravishad Gita Kirti. Oh, very sweet, in a sweet voice. Gurudev said that I cannot sing as sweetly as Mukunda. But Mukunda was singing too sweetly. Hearing that, Pundarik Vidyanidhi became almost mad. He tore his clothes, was rolling on the ground, weeping loudly, shouting, pulling his hair. So Gadadhar Pandit realized that he has committed offense to a great personality. And Mahaprabhu told him, go and take initiation from Pundarik Vidyanidhi, accept him as Guru. So Gadadhar Pandit received mantra from Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So same Gadadhar Pandit later on initiated Vallabhacharya, the incarnation of Shukdev Goswami, and he initiated even Loknath Goswami, Bhugarva Goswami, Mamu Thakur, and so many devotees. Gurudev was giving. So he said, Gadadhar Pandit was never allowed to go to Vrindavan. Understand? When Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, Gadadhar Pandit once, he had taken a vow. He will never ever leave Jagannath Puri. That vow is called Kshetra Sannyas. But when Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, Gadadhar Pandit also wanted to go with him to Vrindavan. And he went up to the Mahanadi river. He broke and he even about to cross the Mahanadi river. But Mahaprabhu reminded him, he said, no, you should not cross Mahanadi river. Otherwise your vow of Kshetra Sannyas, adhering to one place of pilgrimage, whole life will be broken. So Gadadhar is Radharani, but he was never allowed to go to Vrindavan. He never went to Vrindavan. But he is the greatest Brajavasi. So now Gurudev was telling the secret why Gadadhar Pandit was not allowed to go to Vrindavan. Because with Mahaprabhu especially. Because if Gadadhar Pandit will go, then Mahaprabhu will immediately come in the mood that he is Radharani and he himself is Krishna. Then again the same pastimes as we have done in Braj will happen. But the separation mood Mahaprabhu will not be able to relish. Mahaprabhu's main object was to relish separation mood. So even in Gambhira, Gadadhar Pandit was not allowed, and even in Vrindavan he was not allowed to come with him. Understand? So Gurudev was talking about the mood of Gadadhar Pandit. Gurudev was telling that mood of Gadadhar Pandit was rightist mood. Basically, there are two types of moods of the devotees. One is a leftist mood and one is a rightist mood. Radharani, her mood is leftist. She is sulky. Understand? Means she will chastise Krishna, she will not speak with Krishna sometimes. Understand? She will show anger. And like this. But Gadadhar was very submissive. He was like rightist mentality. So his mood more or less like Rukmini. Understand? And Gurudev was telling a story about Rukmini, that once Rukmini was fanning Krishna in Dwarka, then Krishna began to speak to Rukmini. And he told her that you have made a big mistake by marrying me. I am not a king. I am only a servant of Ugrasen. If you really have time, you are still very pretty, although you have many children now. But you are still very pretty. If you really want, I can arrange your marriage with some other prince or king. They will still marry you. And hearing that joking, Rukmini could not sense that joking mood of Krishna and she fainted. Krishna went there with a little little swab of cotton and put before her nostrils, and then it was moving little bit. It means that she had not died. Only little breathing was happening. Then when she came back to consciousness, then Krishna asked forgiveness to Rukmini and said, "Hey, you simply fainted when I joked a little bit with you. In Braj, I used to joke so much with gopis, and they used to also joke with me again. Um, so why is like this?" So Rukmini could not even tolerate the idea of giving up Krishna even for a moment. So like that, so Gurudev was telling that Gadadhar's mood was like Rukmini, but he's not Rukmini, he's Radharani only. Understand? So we should try to understand that greatest renunciation in the world is to give up Krishna because he's the source of everything. So anyways, Bhavanuvad we are reading. We are in the last paragraph of page number 63. Those who are still following the book. Shreya Sutim Bhakti Udasate Vibho Lishanti Kevala Bodha Labde Teshamaso Kleshalayeva Shishyate Nanyadata Stula Ushavaghatina. Oh, sorry, I missed a thing. Little bit a paragraph of I think I misplaced. The Dan refers to giving charity to Vishnu and the Vaishnavas for the purpose of serving them. Vrata refers to Vaishnava vows like observing Ekadashi. The meaning of tapasya is renunciation of enjoyment for the sake of Sri Krishna's pleasure. The word homa refers to Vaishnava homa, or else offering the Lord's food remnants and so on to the Vaishnavas. So homa is two types. There is the Vaishnava homa, where oblations are given to Vishwaksen, Narad Muni, Mahabhagavats, and then Navayogendra and all like this. The Vaishnava homa is elaborately described by Srila Gadadhar, by Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami in his Satriya Sardipika. Saranam Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Satriya Sardipika explains Vaishnava homa. And also, we do every day morning some homa, very simple homa, offering with Mahamantram. That is called Agnihotra. Understand? But another type of homa or sacrifice is to offer foodstuffs to the Vaishnavas. Lord's Prasadam is offered to the Vaishnavas. In Vaishnavas, then Vaishnava's stomach becomes like the sacrificial pit, and Prasadam is like the oblation. Understand? So satisfying Vaishnava's hunger by giving them Krishna Prasad is also a great service. It's like also fire sacrifice. Japa refers to the uttering of Vishnu mantra, Gayatri and so on. And here, these Vishnu mantras, and especially Gopal mantra, Kam Gayatri, we should be chanting. And Gurudev told that this Brahma Gayatri, Om Bhurva Sva, this mantra, with great austerity, great austerity. And then, due to the great austerity, the swarup of this Brahma Gayatri changed. And that Brahma Gayatri mantra became very, very beautiful and pretty. And then it converted into Kama Gayatri. So Kama Gayatri Swarupa is very beautiful. Don't think Kama Gayatri and Brahma Gayatri are separate. They are one and the same. Brahma Gayatri herself has become Kama Gayatri. Gurudev says that among all the Vedic mantras, the most powerful mantra is Brahma Gayatri. And even, but that Brahma Gayatri also did great austerities to be converted to Kama Gayatri. So this Kama Gayatri, we should always chant 3 times. Jayam Suvam Sasya Ishrafi Sandhya. Understand? So, Swadhyaya refers to the reading of Shruti, such as Gopal Tapni Upanishad. Now, this particular Upanishad, Gopal Tapni Upanishad, is a wonderful Upanishad. You should, Swadhyaya means read these Upanishads. In this way, by the word Shreya, supreme welfare, the other aggregate limbs of bhakti should be understood. Charity and so on performed for any other purpose can never be the cause of bhakti. Understand? Charity and so on performed for any other purpose. Certainly this has already been established. Thus by conclusively establishing the transcendental nature of bhakti, there is a full and beautiful reconciliation. Now we are coming to text 5. In the absence of bhakti, practices like jnana, karma, and yoga are fruitless. Understand? So, most important thing is bhakti. Otherwise, simply practicing jnana, karma, and yoga are fruitless. श्रेया श्रुतिम भक्तिम उदस्यते विभो इति को वार्थ आप्तो भजताम स्वधर्मता इति पुरैव भूमन् बहवो अपि योगिनः इति आदिभ्यो ज्ञान कर्म योगादिनां प्रति स्वफल सिद्धै भक्तिम अवश्यम अपेक्षा माणानाम इव श्रेय श्रुतिम भक्तिम उदस्यते. O Lord, devotional service to you is the main source of all kinds of auspiciousness. So if you want auspiciousness in life, you have to engage in devotional service. मधुर मधुरम एतन मंगलम मंगलानाम सकल निगम वल्ली सत्फलम चित स्वरूपम सकृति पे परिगीतम श्रद्धया हेरया भृगुवंदन मातरम तारे कृष्ण. By chanting the holy name of Krishna even once, it will deliver you from the reputation of birth and death. The Gurudev was quoting this verse that this Namashtakam, Rupa Goswami has told, Nikhila Shruti Mauli Ratnamala Diti Virajita Pada Panchajantam Aimukta Kule Rupaswamanam Paritaswam Harinama Samushrayam Jai Namadheya Munivrandagaya Janaranjanaya Paramaksharakurtam Anadara Vimanaduritam Vikrogratapu Padamikalam Vilum. What can be more auspiciousness than the holy name? Even knowingly or unknowingly, respectfully or disrespectfully chant the holy name, you are delivered from the reputation of birth and death. So, bhakti is very auspicious. Chanting of Harinam is the cause of all auspiciousness. Those who give up this path just to cultivate jnana will simply undergo hard work. Understand? So, giving up bhakti and practicing jnana is actually like husking the husk. If you simply husk the husk, what benefit will come? Nothing will come. All the grains are gone. Understand? So, it is useless. Bhakti alone is the cause of all auspiciousness. And bhakti is not very difficult. Other paths are very, very difficult. And Nama Sankirtan is so easy. So much easy. Like compared to what Islamic people are doing now, the Muslims, they are fasting on Roza, Ramzan. It's hot season in India. Very difficult. Namaz also very difficult. So many times they have to bow down in that particular way. Understand? Going to the masjid, mosque, and very difficult actually. Jain people are doing so much austerities in India. So much austerities. But in our Sanatan Dharma is easy. Sit anywhere. If it is too hot, like in Tirupati, turn on the fan and chant Hare Krishna mantra. Don't go outside, it is too hot. And if you are very cold, like in Siberia, then wear coats and turn on the heater and you sit down happily inside and chant Hare Krishna mantra. Anywhere and everywhere. If you are hungry, take some food, prasadam. If you are thirsty, drink water or lemonade or something. And then, chant Hare Krishna mantra. It is not difficult. It's the easiest process. Understand? Jnana Marga is difficult. So, like in India, I see so many children, they go to school, small children carrying big backpacks. So many school books they carry, they study mathematics in their mother tongue, Telugu, English, civics, history, geography, and then physics, chemistry, mathematics, algebra. Then I said, I also studied like this, all said and done, but now I simply chant Hare Krishna mantra. So, anyways, the conclusion of everything is the Hare Krishna mantra. The Hare Krishna mantra it doesn't need much education. Whether educated or uneducated, anyone can chant Hare Krishna mantra. Like in Tirupati, I see many Matajis who do seva in the temple, washing utensils, making garlands. Some of them not even educated. Understand? But they are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, putting on tilak, taking Mahaprasadam, having darshan of the deities, and they are making advancement. So even if you are an uneducated person, no harm. If you are sincerely serving Krishna, you will make advancement. Krishna doesn't see your education. If you have education, well and good, but if you don't have, no harm. So here, Pureha Bhuman Bahavo Api Yogina. O Almighty Lord, in the past, many yogis in this world, unable to attain you through the path of yoga, finally offered all their endeavors to you. So some yogis, they tried by their yoga, but they could not obtain Krishna. So then they offered all their endeavors to Krishna. And that is in 11th canto of Bhagavatam also told, Namam sadheti yogo na sankyam dharma uddhava na swadhyaya tapasyago yata bhakti vamur. Namam sadheti yoga. By Ashtanga yoga, pranayam. You know what is pranayam? Closing this nostril, kumbhak, purak, rechak, means inhaling, exhaling, retaining your breath. All this type of Ashtanga yoga cannot satisfy Krishna. Sankhya yoga means trying to find out the matter, separating the matter from water. Like Gurudev was telling that there are 4 levels of sannyasis. Kutichak. Kutichak means he takes sannyas and he makes a small hut outside his village. He stays there. Bahudak means he travels to different villages, preaches, takes prasadam from this house, that house, begging from them. And then Hamsa, another type of sannyasi is like 3rd level of sannyasi is Hamsa. Like a Hamsa is a swan. The swan has one quality that if you mix water and milk, then swan will drink only milk and leave the water. So one who can discriminate between matter and soul, he is actually Hamsa. But Paramahamsa is like Nityananda Prabhu. Gurudev was telling that Nityananda Prabhu is Paramahamsa. Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj, Gopal Babaji Maharaj, they are Paramahamsas. Their conduct may not be easily understood. Gurudev was telling that like Rishabdev Maharaj and others, these Paramahamsas, they may take their own stool and apply all over their body. And still they are not contaminated. Means no one can understand. Like Nityananda Prabhu, completely naked, and used to come to the house of Shivas Pandit and he used to tell his wife Malini, I am so hungry, give me a breast milk. And he used to drink her breast milk, quite naked. He also once came to the house of Shachi Mata, quite naked. And Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit gave him a cloth. One time, Shiva's wife Malini was crying bitterly. So he asked, Nityananda Prabhu asked Malini, Shiva's Pandit's wife, my mother, why you are crying? Then Malini Devi told actually that I had one plate, silver plate or golden plate meant for the deity worship of Thakurji. That plate of Thakurji has been taken away by a crow. And do you know the nature of Shiva's Pandit, my husband, very angry nature. He will chastise me bitterly if I don't get that plate back. So Nityananda said, mother, don't worry, I will get you that plate. And he began to chant and sing Hare Krishna mantra, and that same crow came and returned the plate. Nityananda Prabhu even commanded the crows. Understand? So this is Nityananda Prabhu, he is a Maha Bhagavad. Understand? So he is like above all the rules and regulations, Nityananda Prabhu. So here, so Gurudev was telling that, try to sing these bhajans every day. You should sing Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Radhe Jai Jai Madhava Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Also Vande Vishwambara Padakamalam. We should pray to Nityananda Prabhu, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also pray to Radharani. Without Radharani, we should sing these bhajans. Understand? We should learn these bhajans and sing them. Especially Gurudev was mentioning one bhajan. It is written by Raya Ramananda. And I remember when I was in San Diego, I used to sing this bhajan. I used to like it very much. Long time I have not sung it. Kalayati nayanam दिशि दिशि वालितां पङ्कजमिव मृदु मारुतचलितं विनिवदति मृदु मन्थरपादं रचयति कुञ्जरं गतिमनुवादं अलयति नयनां दिशि दिशि वालितां पङ्कजमिव मृदु मारुतचलितं. So actually this particular song is written by Rai Raman, who is incarnation of Vishaka. There is one very famous drama called Jagannath Vallabh Natakam. In that this particular song comes. So Gurudev said that this song will please Radharani. So we should try to sing the pertinent songs. This is a very important limb of devotional service. So, O Almighty Lord, in the past, many yogis in this world, unable to attain you through the path of yoga, finally offered all their endeavors to you. As a result, they achieved bhakti, characterized by hearing and chanting about you. So, bhakti has the most important limb is hearing and chanting. Like Gurudev was telling us, read my books, read Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj books. Gurudev not only encouraged his own books, but he also encouraged Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj books. Once Gurudev was in the United States and Nischintya Prabhu, he had permission from BBT to print pre-1978 books of Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, original books. And then he was printing those books, and Gurudev gave him the money to print those books. So these books of Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj and books of Gurudev, you should try to read very carefully. Understand? Then Bhakti will certainly come. They therefore came to understand you and attained the supreme destination in the form of Samipya, or being situated near you. So yogis, they dedicated their activities to Krishna and then they got Samipya Mukti. The Sarupya, Samipya, Salokya, Sasti. Ekatma Mukti. Diyamanam na Grananti Vinamat Sevanam. Most of the Golopwala devotees, Brajavasi devotees don't accept any type of liberation, even Samipya liberation. But some devotees accept it. By scriptural statements such as this, it is evident that bhakti surely relied upon to obtain the cherished fruits of karma, yoga, jnana, and so on. So if you want the result of karma, yoga, jnana, and so on, then you must do bhakti along with them. Without bhakti, karma, jnana, and yoga cannot give result. Understand? Like Srila Vishnu Thakur, having established the self-manifesting nature of bhakti, now illustrates topics such as the dependence on bhakti of other practices like karma, jnana, and yoga. So here, like Gurudev was also making one point. He was telling that how, great devotee of Krishna by the name Mirabai. She was living in Rajasthan and her in-laws were harassing her, especially her husband and all. They were not letting her do bhakti. So she wrote a letter to Tulsidas, Goswami Tulsidas, a great Ram Bhakta. Sir, my relatives are not in favor of my bhakti. What should I do? Then Tulsidas wrote her a letter that just like Prahlad abandoned his father Hiranyakashipu, and just like Vibhishan abandoned his brother Ravana, you should also abandon all your relatives if they are against bhakti. Because Bali Maharaj abandoned his spiritual master. He was opposed to bhakti. So we should have nothing to do with any relatives who are opposed to bhakti. Understand? We should ignore them. Understand? We should only have relationship with those near and dear ones who have bhakti or who are favorable to bhakti. So Mirabai finally receiving the letter of Tulsidas came to Vrindavan and she took Gopal Mantra from Jiva Goswami. But was she a real disciple of Jiva Goswami? Actually, she did not follow the moods of Jiva Goswami. She had love and affection for Krishna, but she was having very narrow mind, narrow heart. Her heart was not broad or wide enough. She could only see Krishna. She could not see Radharani or any other gopis. She didn't want to do Anugatya of gopis or Radharani. As a result, she ended up in Dwarka and she merged in the deity of Dwarkadish. So she could not get Brajavas, eternal Brajavas. Because without mercy of Radharani, no one can get the mercy of Krishna. Gurudev was telling. Anaradhya Radha Padambhojarenu Anashritya Vrindatavi Tatpadankam Asambhashya Tadbhava Gambhira Chittam Kutashama Sindho Rasasya Vaga. So Gurudev is making one point, very strong point, that don't worship Krishna alone. Bhakti doesn't mean only serving Krishna, but also serving his eternal associates like Vishnu Maharaj, Sudha, Shridham, Dham, Vasudham, and Radha, Lita, Vishakha, like this. Krishnam Smaram Janam Chasyam Preshtham Nija Samihitam Tattat Katharachastasa Puryat Vasam Bhagavata. We should worship not only Krishna alone, but his Brajavasi associates also we should worship and remember. The Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14.4 says, Shreya Sutim Bhakti Mudasyate Vibho Klishyanti Kevala Bodha Labde Teshamasau Kleshara Eva Shishyate Nanya Yatha Sthulatu Shavaghatina. Beholding Shri Krishna's astonishing influence, Shri Brahma is uttering words of praise. So Brahma, the Adi Guru, he saw the great influence of Krishna. There he is telling, oh Bhagwan, whoever abandons bhakti, the soul means to obtain complete auspiciousness just for the sake of obtaining exclusive jnana, will simply undergo hard work. Means follow jnana or impersonal speculation, mental speculation, path of mental speculation, then that person is giving up the rice and taking only the, is only husking the husk. Means once you have taken out the rice grains from the paddy, then only husk will remain, empty husk will remain. And then you try to beat as much as you like with a club or whatever. If you try to husk the empty husk, nothing will come out of it, no grain will. You can go on for eternity. Your hand may break, they become bloody. You may have fracture of your hands. But how much you beat a husk, not a single grain will come out. Simply abandoning bhakti, if you follow the path of impersonal knowledge, Brahma is telling, nothing will come. Shreya Shrutim Bhakti Budasyate Vibho Klishyanti Kevala Bodha Labdhe Esha Masau Kleshalam Eva Shishyate Nanya Dhastula Tushabhaghatina. There is no point in husking the husk. So you must take help of bhakti. In Srila Vishnu Thakur Sarat Varshini commentary on verse 18.55 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, beginning Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, he has mentioned 4 kinds of practitioners who cultivate exclusive jnana or Brahma jnana. Those people who think that jnana alone, devoid of bhakti, is competent to give mukti, accept profuse tribulation in the practice of cultivating jnana. In essence, what they attain is tribulation and tribulation alone. Such people are greatly condemned. The verse previously discussed comments on these jnanas. So following jnana is actually only trouble will come. Like there's so many Shankaracharyas and all, what they are doing, so much trouble they are taking, but not doing bhakti. Like Gurudev was telling that in Vrindavan there was one sannyasi by the name of Akhandananda Saraswati. And there was also another sannyasi by the name of Karpatri Maharaj, famous. And Gurudev said that these staunch Advaitwadis, Mayavadis, they were highly revered by Brajavasis and all over people in India. But how come they were respected by everyone, adored by everyone? Because they took the remnants of 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 Rupa Goswami. What Rupa Goswami wrote? Gurudev was making a very important point today in today's class. He was telling that who would have known Krishna? Who would have known Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who would have given any importance to Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if Rupa Goswami would not have come? Only Rupa Goswami revealed to the whole world the glories of Mahaprabhu, and he revealed to the world world the glories of Radha Krishna and Brajadam. No one would have known the glories of Brajadam. No one would have known the glories of Radha Krishna or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if Rupa Goswami would not have come. So even Krishna is indebted to Rupa Goswami. If Mahaprabhu is indebted to Rupa Goswami. Gurudev was commenting on this glorification of Rupa Goswami is written by Kavi Karanapu. Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahaja Virupe. Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahaja Virupe. Nijan Rupe, Prabhure Karupe, Tatana Rupe, Savilasa Rupe, Tatana Rupe. He expounded the philosophy of bhakti. Priya Swarupe is very dear to Swarup Damodar Goswami. Understand? And is very dear to, he is the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if Rupa Goswami would not have come, he would have never known the glories of bhakti. Yankali Rupa Sharira Nadarata Tangraja Prema Mahanidhi Kutharika Onaka Pata Udharata Ko Janata Mathura Vrindamana Ko Janata Brajarita Ko Janatara Dhama Dhavarati Ko Janata Sai Pritam Java Pitovana Hula Phalatana Vida Manoraji Aravinda. So, he revealed the glories of Brajadham. Understand? The beautiful description of the beauty of Braja in the spring season, when the whole Brajamandal is yellow in color due to the mustard flowers growing on the mustard fields. They describe that. He's revealed all the glories of Brajadham. We are indebted to Rupa Goswami and his brother Sanatana Goswami. These two brothers, if they had not come, then no one would have known the glories of Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, in essence, Gurudev was making a point. He said, what to speak of anyone else? Even Vishakha and Lalita, they cannot enter the Kunja of Radharani without the permission of Rupa Manjari. They will ask Rupa Manjari, hey Rupa Manjari, what the divine couple are doing? What are they doing in the Kunja? And they will wait for their permission. Understand? How great is the Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Manjari and Bhagavan. So anyways, then there are those who practice jnana that is mixed with bhakti, bhakti mishra jnana. Upon seeing the scriptural passage, sarvasam eva siddhanam moolam tad janarthanam. The worship of Sri Krishna's lotus feet is the root of the perfection of all kinds of sadhana. We should always try to worship Sri Krishna because his lotus feet is the root of perfection for all sadhanas. After enormous tribulations, such persons reach the stage of absorption in abstract meditation. But because they consider Shri Bhagavan's divinely graceful form to be a temporary manifestation of Maya, they become offenders at his lotus feet. So Bhagavan Swami is not temporary form created by Maya. It is not a Maya form, it is an eternal form. That's why these people are committing offense to Bhagavan. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhesya kripa sindhu vaja pradhanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Thank you so much for attending the class. Happy Ekadashi to all of you. Tomorrow the Ekadashi in India. It will be at tomorrow Ekadashi and then day after tomorrow breaking the fast 8:35. Okay? Pardon?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
You'll be having kirtan all day long, right?
Maharaj.
Tomorrow? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. In Singapore, it is a calendar, and purebhakti.com calendar states Wednesday is Ekadashi here.
Actually, for Tirupati also, I talked to Dandi Maharaj ji. And Maharaj ji, Shripa Dandi Maharaj told me that even in Tirupati it was showing 13. 13, I mean, it was telling that Ekadashi should be followed on 13th only, like Wednesday. But then I checked with Maharaj and then I saw Mathura calendar and Navadvip calendar and it said very clearly 12th only. Then, even that Sundar Gopal Prabhu also put a video. So we all decided that we should, Madhurya calendar also the 12th was told. And then also Tirupati local calendar also 12th was told. So finally, consultation with Shripa Dandi Maharaj and other devotees, Sundar Gopal Prabhu also put a video. Then, so everything, we decided that the correct date is 12th, not 13th. I would highly recommend that do it tomorrow. Understand?
Right. What about Singapore, Maharaj?
Pardon?
Singapore?
I think Singapore or anywhere, I think we should do tomorrow only. Singapore, how far it is from Indian time?
2.5 hours.
That's all, no? It's not very far actually. Singapore, Malaysia, very close.
Oh.
I think it will be okay if you just do tomorrow, okay? What time is it now?
It's 12:30.
It's night.
12:36.
Okay, so now tomorrow morning on, you do fasting, okay? No problem. Instead of 13, you do it tomorrow. No harm, okay?
Oh, okay.
So, because it is not very much difference geographically. I checked with Maharaj and Maharaj told me very clearly that you should, and I saw many other videos, Sundar Gopal Prabhu also explaining. So, and Madhva Sampradaya calendar also tomorrow only. So I will recommend that you do it tomorrow, okay?
Okay, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I will talk to Maharaj also about this, but I think Maharaj will also tell tomorrow. He told me clearly because I was also confused. purebhakti.com was showing 13 for our this thing, but only 1 or 2 Ekadashis are like that. Generally, most of the time, Pure Bhakti and other calendars are matching. Understand? Sometimes 1 or 2 Ekadashis this may happen. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Happy Ekadashi to all of you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe. I hope anyone has any questions or comments. Please ask me, and or you can message me, and then I will answer next time if you want. Okay. So, if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Dandavat Param.
நாளைக்கே இருந்துடலாமா? நாளைக்கே இருந்துடலாமா?
Hare
ஏகாதசி நாளைக்கே இருந்துடலாமா?
Hare Krishna, Anu. Recite the Jaya Shivani name, please.
No problem, Master. Shishu Guru Goranga Dwarika Giridhari Radha Vinod Dharaji ki jai. Nitilebra Vishnu Para Stota Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vishnu Deity Goswami Maharaj ki jai.